Who's the other one? Who's the other one? Brandon.
Go. Oops. There I am. Good evening. Go. Out. Shut the door.
Hello.
No. I want to. I want to.
Class. Daddy, you'll come.
That we don't talk about underwear and have any nice talk. Any talk about underwear is mean talk. It's gonna talk.
All right, hopefully we get everybody here tonight.
Yeah. Seemed pretty easy going through it.
Yeah, I thought so. This one seemed easier than last week.
Maybe that's because I just finished with microeconomics, but
Yeah, it was quite a bit of review from that class, wasn't it?
yeah.
Hey, this is Bob. Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yep.
Bob.
Okay. I'm doing this on my phone again. I can't figure out how to do it on my computer. My phone just comes right up. But anyway.
I know, that's the same with me too.
wonder if you guys have to download the Google Hangouts on your laptop or on your computers.
Yeah, I thought I had it. I've done it on my computer before. I'm wondering if I need to shut my phone off.
Well,
Around-
when mine rings, it rings on my computer and my phone, and then I just choose which one I answer.
Okay.
You could probably do both if you want, but it doesn't matter. It's pretty simple. We can hear you, so that works.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Did the other two respond to your email earlier, Mark?
No, they did not. But I don't know. I think everybody was aware we were going to do eight tonight, right?
Yeah, I thought so. We talked about it last week, and then you put it in the email last week and this weekend on the board. So I think so.
Okay.
So we can just go ahead. They can join us, or maybe they're listening. They just haven't figured out how to join in yet.
Well, it says 0 viewers, so I don't
Okay.
think they're even here.
All right.
Did we want to talk about the 2 we missed last week at all?
Sure. Let me find it.
Can't remember what. Oh, just on the.
After doing all of the work the rest of the week and going back, I'm like, oh, yeah, no, that was probably that. I don't know what the answer was, but I'm like, that's probably that one. Let's see where it is.
Yeah. Yeah, on number 4, we had D for 10 bushels of wheat and 13 pounds of beef, and it was C.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. That's the only one that fell in the range. With 13 pounds of beef, it was over on the time.
Huh.
And C was under. It was the only one that was under, so that's why.
Okay.
And then the other one, I think, on the tacos and whatever, we did it the inverse. We did the opportunity cost for the tacos instead of for the burritos.
Oh.
I don't know if anybody wanted to talk about it or not, but that was the ones we missed.
Well, it's good to know. So that one would have been A.
Yeah.
We had picked C, but that one.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. Yeah, it was supposed to be 3/4 and not 4/3.
Oh, 3/4. Okay.
Okay, so number 4 was C.
No.
Yes.
Number 4. Yeah, was supposed to be C. And then number, which one was it?
Number 16.
Yeah, 16 was supposed to be 3/4 instead of 4/3.
All right.
So we did the opportunity cost of the, we did it in terms of the opportunity cost of tacos rather than for burritos. It's 4/3 for tacos, but it's 3/4 for burritos.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, yeah, well, let's go ahead and start then.
Yep.
Who wants to start out?
I can.
Okay.
The forces that make market economics work are, and I pick C, supply and demand.
Yes.
I had the same thing.
That's what I got as well.
Okay, I'll take number 2. The highest form of competition is called, and I put C, perfect competition.
I got that
Agree.
one too.
Yes.
All right, I can do 3.
Okay.
The demand for a good or service is determined by, and I put A, those who buy the good or service.
That's what I got.
Yes.
Yep.
I'll do 4.
Okay.
Most studies indicate that tobacco and marijuana tend to be, and I put B, complements.
Agreed.
Yep.
Okay. I'll do 5. The following table contains a demand schedule for a good. If the law of demand applies to this good, then Q1 could be, and I put C, 200.
I thought it was A.
I also chose
I got A as well.
Okay, why?
Well, because they're asking you for the price there and then your quantity demanded. As your price goes up, your quantity demanded is not going to go up.
That makes sense. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
That's why we have group work, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Move this. I'll take 6. The movement from DA to DB could be caused by, and I chose B, a decrease in income, assuming the good is inferior.
I agree.
You guys could be, and I chose D. Let's see, an increase in price of the complement.
I originally chose D, and then I realized that an increase in the price of a complement would decrease the demand for that.
Right, and instead of A to B. You're right. I was looking, I think, at the wrong direction.
Yeah, it's a little hard to get. Yeah.
Yeah, you had to look at that one for a little while. That was you got to think counterintuitively on that one. The example that was given in the book kind of helped me. You know, they gave the example of if you lost your job, you wouldn't be driving your car, you'd be taking bus. And so that kind of, you had to kind of think about it backwards.
Backwards because of the inferior good.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you. Someone's calling in.
How do I answer that?
I think you can answer it, but I think they need to answer. They need to go back into, it's Michelle. She needs to join instead of calling.
Okay. Well, me. I tried to answer it, but
It's the camera at the top. If that works. Mm-hmm.
What'd you do? Send her? How'd you send her a message?
It popped up on my screen.
Okay.
I don't know. I just typed.
I tried to answer it, but I don't know what happened.
No, it didn't join in that one.
It was coming in on my phone, so.
Yeah, it popped up and I don't know why it does this. Maybe I have two different versions of Hangouts, one to like chat and one to call or something. But it popped up as a second screen, and it had all of us like she was calling us all back. But
weird.
I don't know how to. I just told her to join the open feed. It's the camera at the top is what I told her. If she clicks on that one, it should join in whatever one we're already open. Maybe try inviting her again. I don't have her email address. Or
Okay.
maybe try she's got her phone or whatever and she could just click open it.
Okay.
My mom usually starts our chats every week, so I'm not very good at all the
Okay, I sent her a second invite.
Okay. Maybe if she can answer that one, it'll get her into this one instead.
Does that have to be sent to her Gmail? Do you know?
Yes,
Okay.
I believe it does.
I guess I could try her BYU one. Does she just maybe have to sign in with her Gmail? I don't know.
That might be the problem.
I guess give her another minute and then we'll just keep going.
Yeah. She didn't respond back to me either, so it makes me wonder if she didn't see my message.
Well, maybe I'll just email her on her school email. Just a regular email.
Yeah. My school email is forwarded to my Gmail, so I oftentimes don't remember which one I'm writing out of anyway.
So when you guys connect in, do you just click on the link? Is that all you do, or is there something else, other step you have to do?
It pops up when you call. Mine just pops up in my Google Hangouts, so I just put answer.
Oh,
There she is.
Joined. All right.
That's
Welcome, Michelle.
All right.
I think okay, there we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, sorry I'm late. My computer crashed.
All right,
Quickly
welcome.
So what did I miss? And you guys are going to have to help me with the homework because I really am having a hard time understanding these concepts, and it takes me twice as long to get through it.
Okay.
If you can help me, I've talked to a teacher, but and I'm doing tutoring, but it's just a different way of thinking.
Yes, it's a very hard concept. I struggled last semester.
So be patient with me.
Talk through number 6. We're on number 7. So why don't you give us what you have for your answers for 1 through 6, and then if we have something different, then we'll stop you and talk about it.
Well, that's my problem is I haven't even looked at it yet. I usually do it after I'm done here because my life is crazy. Sorry, guys. Just on the gist of it, I would say for number 1, what does that make market economics work? supply and demand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. You got it.
That's just intuitively, without, because I haven't finished the reading. The highest form of competition is called, well, I don't know, based on what we learned the last chapter, would be absolute, because if you have a corner on the market, you know, well, that's probably not right. That's my
Yeah, what I would recommend, what I did when I was doing this is I had this sitting next to me as I was going through the reading, and this basically follows right along with the reading.
Gotcha.
So you're basically finding the answers right in the book.
Competitive.
For the most part. These word ones especially, and then some of the more of the math type related ones, they have examples that are similar. But anyway.
Okay, so the highest form of competitive market competition. Well, you'd have to define competition.
Yeah, that one, you see, that's the answer straight in the book, and it's perfect competition.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm like, how does that work? Perfectly competitive. Oh, okay.
Because perfect competition means everything is competitive, whereas like a monopoly, nothing's competitive. So usually when they talk about economics and they're talking about the beginning parts, at least everything's perfectly competitive. So we can just say there's so much competition that not one person can make the markets go up and down.
Right. Everybody gets a gain from what's happening in the market.
Yep.
With a monopoly, you don't, because only one big chief owns that. Demand for goods and services determined by those who buy the goods or service.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
You're doing good. See, you got this.
I'm trying.
So I kind of put you on the spot.
No, that's okay. I'm sometimes I think I'm better on my feet. On the spot. Now, if my computer would work, we'd be doing a lot better. So say a prayer that we do good that way. Hold on one second. I'm just highlighting my answers.
Yep.
I'll do like I did last week, miss some of the answers and compare them to what I got, and ended up putting down my answers instead of what we talked about. It was so frustrating. Okay, most studies indicate that tobacco and marijuana tend to be let's see. Well, I'd say mine would be it's either C or D. Unrelated because one good is legal while the other is illegal, or the other being inferior, although tobacco does have the tendency to sell well.
And so if it was inferior, that would mean that as your income goes down, meaning the less money you have to spend, the more you would purchase of that item. So since the cost is so high, you wouldn't be buying more cigarettes, you'd be rationing them.
Some people...
The answer is actually B. In
compliments?
Yeah, right. Some people do. Right, because then they're not hungry. Yeah, compliments. In the book, it starts out...
Yeah, I can see that now, why they would be compliments. Because what you said is true. I mean, I have parents who are not members of the church, so I watch them as far as shifting cigarette brands, depending on the cost, they had to have that cigarette. Because I didn't know anybody who smoked marijuana, but I can see why that would be a compliment. Because no matter how, because in New Zealand the cost of tobacco is very high, like more than $10 for a box of cigarettes. But people manage to, I used to think that cigarettes would run out somehow because they were so expensive. people ought to stop buying them, but they didn't.
Right.
It's like one of those commodities when the market drops, tobacco, alcohol, and makeup, people have to have.
Yeah, milk. That's another one.
Yeah. So let's see, number 5, the following table contains. Sorry, guys, bear with me. I'm also sick on top of all of this. The demand schedule for a good. The demand curve. Okay. If the law of demand applies to this good, then Q1 would be 200.
That was my first guess too, and it's wrong.
So would it remain the same? The quantity would remain the same if the price went up, or would it?
They said what would the demand? If they said the demand is 100, so if the price goes up, then the quantity demanded goes down. So there's only one of those answers that goes down.
It's 0. So it's A?
Yep.
Yes.
How do you get to... Oh, because it's double the price, but you don't have double the quantity.
Right.
So it would be 0. You wouldn't have any left.
Because the demand, what would they demand it? And usually what they do is as the price goes up, it's less and less. So usually it would be like $10, they want 100, but then at $11, they only want 90, let's say.
Oh, I get it. I was thinking in the opposite way.
Yep. That's what I did too. And then when we talked about it, everyone went, oh yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense now. Because the price is going up, you won't have a demand for it. So logically, it would
There's
be...
only one answer. Pretty much it could be anything that's less than 100, but since there's only one of those, then it's that one.
Yeah, well, it can't be 100.
Yeah, there's no math.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
There's no math. It's just that the price, that the quantity would drop. Quantity demanded would drop.
Yeah, but then when you look at some of the... Oh, well, I guess I have to look into the demand curve a little bit more in the demand schedule. And I guess in the example about ice cream, you look at the cones. So when it got up to $3, an ice cream cone, the quantity went from 12 to 0. So that's the same thing, right? On page 68 of the textbook, they talk about Catherine's demand schedule and demand curve.
Mm-hmm.
So when her price went up to $3 for an ice cream cone, the quantity of cones demanded went to 0. So that would...
Right.
That's right. Exactly.
Okay, now it makes better sense why it would be 0.
Yeah, because who's going to pay $3 for an ice cream cone?
Me.
I live in Southern California. I totally will. Totally.
Yeah, especially at Cold Stones, right?
Right. And they're more than 3. They're like 4 or 5.
Let's see, next one. Price. Is it 6? 6 is referred to figure 47. That's 6, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we did do 5. Sorry, I was thinking I just did 4. Refer to for movement from DA to DB could be caused by... Hold on, let me do a quick squiz. Shifts in demand curve. So the reason why, help me understand this really quick. The reason why the demand curve shifts is because the quantity, because there's a change that raises the quantity. There's a change in the, in the quantity.
Right. Right, a change in the quantity demanded.
Yeah. So
Or
if the demand
yeah.
increases, then it will shift. The demand curve would shift to the right. Any change that lowers the quantity, then it would go back to
It's
the
actually, sorry,
left.
I spoke wrong. It's not the quantity demanded. It's the, what is it? The demand.
Quantity that buyers wish to
If it's
produce.
quantity demanded, it moves up and down the line. If it shifts, then it's quantity. Oh, I wrote it down somewhere.
Okay, so it's an increase in demand if it goes to the right.
It's a change in demand. When
Yeah.
the whole line shifts like that, it's a change in demand.
So
If it moves up and down the line, it's a change in
that's from
the
the
quantity.
purchaser's point of view of the
No,
product.
demand is the consumer's point of view.
Right.
It's consumer right.
Supply is the
Is the
supply.
business side.
Yeah.
We supply, they demand. So if the demand increases, it's going to the left. So that would be an increase in the price of a complement, or
Well, we can talk through these. So let's look at number A, a decrease in price. So if it was a decrease in price, since price is one of the labels on the graph, then it will only move on that line. So decrease in price would just move up and down the line. It wouldn't cause a shift.
okay,
So it's not that one.
okay,
So, and then the answer that we got was B, a decrease in income, assuming the good is inferior. And so, do you remember what it means when the good is inferior? What that means?
if everything's being equal, and then an increase in the income leads to a decrease in the demands.
Yes, but it can also go both ways. So then if the demand for a good rises, the income falls, the good is also then an inferior good. So it can go both directions as long as it's got, what would you say, all the symptoms of an inferior good.
That is like generic products. Like, let's say you're going to the store and you're going to buy cereal. Well, when your income's high, you might buy cereals because you buy the store brand cereals because they're $1. So the demand for the generic goods increases when your income decreases.
Good
Okay.
explanation. Thank you, Mark.
The only thing that causes a change on the demand line itself is the price. Everything else causes a shift. That is given in a shift. So that's why it's the answer. Buyers expect it will cause, as would an increase in the price of the complement. So a decrease in price, does see on the graph there, and the C and D actually cause a decrease in the demand rather than an increase.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yep.
Brandon, I think it was you're going to take number 7.
Yeah, sure. So if the 4 families listed on the table are the only demanders of Mountain Dew in the market, which of the following is a correct graph of the market demand? And I put A on that one.
And I got C.
Yes.
Okay, and then maybe Brandon, if you could just talk, Michelle, to talk about why.
Okay. So what I did on that one, I looked at the price of $10, and I saw how many was demanded by, like, I guess the whole market as a whole. And then, so that was 20 that was demanded. And then, so that was the only graph that had at $10 at 20 quantity demanded. So that's why I
So
put
what did
that.
I do? 7 is 50.
Which was your answer?
I did A.
And I did C because the price is at 7, so I took the lower end. So if the price is at 7, then there's 50. And graph C did 7 and 50.
Oh.
Right, but if you look at 50, that's actually where the price is, because you're plotting quantity and price.
I'm a little lost.
Me too. It's all right, Michelle.
So you take the price, which would be the far left, the price of the case of Mr. Do. So it'd either be 7, 8, 9, or 10. And then you look at the families, and are we looking at how much consumption?
Yeah, we add them all together because they are the market, so they're the only families buying Mountain Dew.
You'd have to add all of these numbers together.
Yeah.
Yes, horizontally.
Right.
Horizontally. So it would be, you'd add up the quantities for the 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then that would be at the bottom of the graph.
No.
Where it says your quantity. You'd plot that.
That'd be your
But how did
X
you come up
coordinate.
with? And then your Y would be the price.
Yes.
So how did you figure that A because it looks closest to, how did you get 12?
So the
Well, there's no 12.
Go ahead. Just the
Your highest-
what you're looking for is the best represents the table.
Oh, okay.
$7, and you add it across, you get 50. $8 across is 40. $9 is 30, and $10 is 20. And so, like Brandon was saying, the only graph that represents all of those points is graph A, because like he said, at $10, the quantity demanded is 20, and that is represented on the graph. None of the other ones at that price point have a demand or show a quantity demanded of 20. And if you plot all the points, then I thought it was, at first I didn't want to pick that one because it has a limited line, and all the other ones, the line continues, but
Yeah.
that I saw that correctly represented it. So
Yeah, because your price break would be between 7 and 12, but your quantity is 50 for A. Now that makes sense. I get it.
you agree, Christina? Or you?
Yeah, I do. That makes more sense now.
Because you,
I thought this was easy homework this week.
yeah, so much for that. Okay.
I was doing better.
Well, I'm feeling a little better. Thanks for you guys' help.
Yeah.
I feel so inadequate. Quantity demand has increased the replacement because
Hey, Bob, do you want to take number 8?
Sure. When quantity demanded has increased at every price, it might be because, and I selected D, the price of a complementary good has decreased.
I also did D.
Same here.
Not me. The price of the complementary good is decreased.
Okay, so Bob, do you want to talk through the other ones? Just talk them through why those aren't their correct answer.
Yeah. Let's see, the number of bars.
Quantity demanded has increased at every price.
Okay, with A, the numbers of the, it says the number of buyers in the market has decreased.
Oh, so that would be a decrease in the price.
Right.
That makes sense.
And then with B, income has increased. and the good is an inferior good. And let's see the quantity. There's really no way.
Because we already discussed that one, huh?
Right. I had chosen C was what I had gotten, so that's what costs incurred by sellers.
Okay. Let's see. The cost incurred by sellers producing a good has decreased.
I guess that makes sense as I read it again. The quantity demanded wouldn't change because the cost incurred. It has to be a buyer's.
Right.
Right. Exactly. Because we're talking about demand. We're not talking about supply. So that was why I just skipped right over that one that said sellers. I didn't even.
And I probably didn't even
read. Very good.
I got to see and go, oh yeah, that one looks good. The price of a complementary item good has decreased. Quantity demanded.
Two causes for which an increase in the price of one leads to a decrease in the demand for the.
So complementary are hot dogs and hot dog buns.
Mm-hmm.
And so the quantity demanded of hot dog buns has increased at every price because the hot dogs have decreased, which means their price has gone down.
Yeah, so when the cost of, like your example, when the cost of hot dogs go down, people still need to buy hot dog buns. So
they still are going to, and they're going to buy them at a cheaper price because hot dogs are cheaper, which means we're going to buy more hot dogs and freeze them. So that makes sense.
Well, they're going to buy more buns, even though the buns might have increased in price.
Okay.
Yeah, because the hot dogs have gotten cheaper.
Makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I can take the next one.
Okay.
Maybe. The quantity supplied of a good is the amount that, and I picked D, sellers are willing and able to sell.
I put A on that one.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's
that
buyers.
That one's in the book, page 73. Right in 4.3a, the first sentence there is the quantity supplied of any good or service is the amount that sellers are willing and able to sell.
Yeah, I was just reading that.
Okay.
So it is sellers.
Quantity supplied of a good.
Okay.
Okay, I'll take number 10.
Okay.
Today's supply curve for iPods could shift in response to a change in, and I put B, the expected future price of iPods.
That was my guess, but I...
That's what I was guessing too. I wasn't really sure on that one either.
Yeah, I had a question mark by that one. So that's because...
If you...
Go ahead, Bob.
If you read through where it talks about your supply curve changing and everything like that, all of those ones, they might make a minor adjustment, but the only one of them where it talks about today or an immediate one is when you're looking at expected future price.
Okay.
Expected future price is the only time it would change.
Yeah, because they would shift because we would expect, they would say like, tomorrow we know that iPods are going to go up in price. So today we might go ahead and buy more of them because we don't want to pay the higher price tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true. And that's why iPod generally doesn't do a broadcast until maybe 2 days before they're going to release a new one. My husband was telling me that this last time they went through a release for Apple products, Amazon sent out a release 24 hours before the time that they were supposed to do a release for a new product, and it had all the specifications of what they were releasing, and it was that big, huge problem where they had, I think it was like the charging port or something went wrong. The capacitor wasn't working properly. And so the product dumped. Everyone went and dumped there. They either didn't buy because they knew that there was a glitch in the new release.
Right.
And so everybody, I think, either went back to what was new, what was previously new, or didn't sell at all. Cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
So that makes more sense now. which is why they do the things the way they do, is because some stuff is emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When it comes to buying, I have to have that new thing. So they have to anticipate a future price. And that there's going to be more people buying. Okay, makes sense.
Okay, I think, Brandon, are we to you? You want to do 11?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Let me move my sheet here.
So for 11, it says, all else equal, a sale on chicken would cause a move from, and I put A on that one.
That's what I put also.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
What was the question? All else equal, a sale on chicken would cause a move from? Yeah.
A.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, Bob, do you want to take 12?
Yes. Let's see. If these are the only 4 sellers in the market, then the market quantity supplied at a price of $10 is, and I put 44 units. D.
That's what I got.
So would that be all of those added together on the $10?
Yes.
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 Got it. I'm learning something new.
That's great.
Michelle, do you
Also,
want to...
though, if you
Go ahead, Tom.
before we move on, an easy way to do that, it's not just adding those ones across, is as you look at a couple of those lines where they've actually they've followed in line. You see the price goes 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So there's a constant increase. And so A, doesn't work because it's going the wrong direction. B works because it's constantly climbing. C doesn't work. You've got a couple of 8s in there, and that 12, they're kind of messed up. And then D works because you've got, once again, you're climbing constantly. And so that was, anyhow.
Makes sense logically. I get it.
Michelle, do you want to try and tackle 13?
Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on.
You can do it.
A rightward shift of a supply curve is called a rightward. Hold on. And it's a supply curve, right?
Mm-hmm.
Going to the right. Let's see what options. Increase in supply, decrease in supply, decrease in quantity supplied, increase in quantity supplied. Hold on. Any change that raises the quantity that causes supply curve to the right. Any change that lowers the quantity that. Hold on. Okay, raises the quantity that sells. Quantity. Increase in quantity supplied. D.
And that's what I got.
At least based on what I read on page 75.
I got A.
I got A.
Yeah, because the, what page is that? It's on page,
So on 75 it says shifts in the supply curve, right? And if it's to the right, it would be an increase in supply. And based on the explanation, they said the quantity that sellers wish to produce. So it would be an increase in quantity. No?
no, it's just a rightward shift of the supply curve. If you go to page 80, about the middle of the page there, not counting the figure, page 80.
Yeah.
About the middle of the page there, it starts with to summarize. It says, to summarize, a shift in the supply curve is called a change in supply. And a shift in the demand curve is called a change in demand. Now, a movement along a fixed supply curve is called a change in the quantity supplied. And a movement, same thing for the demand curve. A movement along the fixed curve is a change in the quantity demanded. So it's a shift of the supply curve, not a change along the supply curve. That's why it's an increase in supply and not an increase in the quantity supplied.
That makes sense now. Thank you.
I'm still lost.
I think I was just got it too fast.
So if the whole line shifts over, it is a change in supply. If it moves from one point to the other on the supply curve, then that is a change in the quantity that is supplied.
Oh. So if it shifts
'Cause
to the right entirely, it's an increase in supply.
Right.
Yes.
But if it shifts along the curve, what I get, you're saying it's an increase in quantity supplied.
Yes.
Got it. So it would be A.
When you see the word quantity by itself, then it's just talking about the amount. Quantity supplied is always, that's a different thing, and those two words will be together. Whether it's quantity supplied or quantity demanded, they're different than just quantity.
Oh, you guys are so smart.
That's
Not
why we
really.
have group work. Phil.
Huh?
It's all
That's why
straight
we
out
have
of
group work.
it's all straight out of the textbook.
I know, and
Yeah,
I
but-
read it, but I guess it didn't impact my
Didn't
brain.
click.
I like that I did a mark of printing this out, and as I'm reading, going through, I think that'll help me
Yeah,
match
I'm
up the
gonna
concept.
try that. I just need to get my schedule fixed. Like, don't have a job and I need a babysitter and never mind. So, 14, which supply schedule is available?
Page 14.
Sure, I'll take 14. Which supply schedules obey the law of supply? And I'm going to say guess, was A. Because at $0, oh, wait. That would have been the opposite. Hold on a second. I was thinking the seller. At seller, zero price, then everybody's going to want 10 of everything, but this is the firm's. Hold on. Well,
Wouldn't it be B?
I was going to say B or D.
I put D on that one.
You put
D, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, because I was just going to say, looking at the firms, it was B and D's were the only ones, and so yes, D. I guess it helps if I read the instructions.
Oh, D. And that's because exponentially there was a market increase every time the price went up.
Right.
Yes, that's the law of supply. The law of supply says, other things being equal, when the price of a good rises, the quantity supplied of the good also rises. When the price falls, the quantity supplied falls as well. So it'd be a constant increase
Right.
that's being supplied. There would be no up and down. It'd just be constant.
So you can, and then, sorry, just to catch up. D was the answer correct? B and D?
Yes.
Only?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, because C, they're out of order. It goes up and then goes down, and it wouldn't do that. And then A, I was thinking if the firm gets no dollars, they're not going to make any units. If they can't sell them for anything, then they're not going to make any. So that one doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that would represent like a demand curve
Yeah,
rather
and
than
that's
a
what I
supply.
Right.
That's what I looked at it as. I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. It's too easy.
Can I take a guess at 15?
Yeah?
Yep.
Or maybe, I don't know. I'm
All
having,
right, you got this.
I'm having buyer's remorse now. Would that be the so the intersection would be an equilibrium?
Yes.
That's what I got.
Yes, D.
D, yes.
That's what I got too.
Yay, going right.
You're good.
I can do 16.
Okay.
So at a price of $35, there would be, and I put B, surplus of 200 units.
That's what I got too.
Yes.
Hold on.
I got C on that one.
Oh, so if the price is $35,
So the reason why I chose C is I went to the price 35 and went over to where it crosses the demand curve, which is 200. So at $35, the demand is 200. And then where the supply curve shows at a price of 35 is a supply of 600. So the price of 35, you have 200 units being demanded and 600 units being supplied, which is a surplus of 400.
And I can see that, Mark, but I thought that when she did the example, it was just the amount from the point of equilibrium, which would be 200 one way or 200 the other way.
No, he's right. If you look at 78, if you look on page 78 at that example of surplus,
Uh-huh.
he's right. It does. That price goes just until it hits the demand. And then
so then
the
what's the
surplus
demand?
counts on from there. So you're right, Mark.
Okay.
Okay.
yeah, because you'd have to get those 2 points to get
So it's
to get
400
it.
then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it would
Yeah.
be, because one is at 200, the first intersection point. The second one would be, where is it? At 35. And you're just calculating the difference between the 200 and the 6, right? So that would be 4.
Right.
Yeah. Which if you look at figure 9, as like Bob was saying on page 78, figure 9,
Okay.
that is for a market that is not in equilibrium. So if the market, it might be different if the market was in equilibrium, like you're talking about, Christina. But
Okay.
in this one, it doesn't say that it was.
It wasn't. Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't even mention it. That's right.
Makes
Well, and the price that it gives you, obviously, if it was talking about equilibrium, the price would have been 25.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good catch on that.
Thank you.
I'll take 17. This one took me a little bit to figure it out, but I'll go for it.
Great. I don't have a chance.
Which of the following movements would illustrate the effect in the market for fences of a decrease in the price of wood? And I chose A. It would move from point A to point B. The reason I chose A was because a decrease in price for the supplier would increase the supply, but not the demand.
Okay. And I looked at it from, I put C. I looked at it from the aspect of the supplier, and if the price of wood went down, they would supply less. So I went C to D.
And I, unfortunately, did B, which was C to B. Because I was thinking the supply, the price, let's see.
So it's affecting the cost for the supplier to produce the fence, right? So it doesn't affect the buyer at all.
No, it doesn't
Okay.
affect demand. It just affects
So it doesn't
supply.
affect demand. It only affects supply.
So is that an example of where you talked about that the what do you call it? Where the line would shift up or down, but it's not going to go to the right because it's only a shift and a decrease or an increase in the pricing.
Right.
Yeah, it's moving on the line.
It's moving
yeah,
on
there's
the
not a
line.
shift.
It's not going to shift to the right or shift to the left. It's going up and down the line on demand 1. So it's saying that if it decreases, which is you start at A intersection and then drop down to B, it's only on the cost of the goods.
Right, because they can make more because the wood is cheaper.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So it doesn't stay on the line. Actually, it causes a shift in the supply curve. Let me find that real quick. So where it gives the reasons for a shift in supply, one of the reasons is the input prices. So the cost of wood for a fence is an input price. So that actually shifts the supply curve. It doesn't change the price, actually. Now that I was thinking about it, yeah, it doesn't. So it wouldn't move along the supply line or the demand line. It would cause a shift in the actual supply curve because it's changing the input price. On page 75, that's where it talks about the input prices.
Okay.
So that would, since their prices are then cheaper, it would increase the supply. They would want to produce more because they can make more money.
Right. Because they can make more for less, or they can make...
Yeah, and so the only point in those, out of the 4 there that demonstrates a supply from, well, I guess
1 to 2.
A to B or D to C, but it doesn't give a D to C isn't an option. Only A to B is. That's why I chose it.
Okay.
I agree. All right. Is it back to me? I'll go ahead and do 18. The diagram below pertains to the demand for turkey in the United States. All else equal, an increase in productivity of turkey farmers would cause a move from, my guess was X to Y, C.
I put D, Y to X.
I also put D.
So an increase in the productivity. But if they're increasing productivity, then the price decreases because they can do it better. You're right.
Their input prices decrease. Yeah.
Right.
Right. So just like the one above.
Yeah.
So it's Y to X. D.
Okay, we're on 19, unless anybody has any questions.
Yep. No, that's good.
I can
take
19.
19. Okay, go ahead, Brandon.
Which of the 4 panels illustrates a decrease in quantity supplied? And I put D.
I put B.
I chose D to begin with, but then I changed my answer to B.
Okay.
I chose D and I stuck with it. Why'd you change it, Mark?
Let's see. Why did I choose B? I started writing out my reasons just in case, so I could remember.
Right. That's a great idea.
Okay, let's see.
Increase in quantity supplied.
Okay, so the reason why I didn't choose B is because it actually shows a quantity decrease. Wait. Yeah, quantity decrease and not a decrease in quantities. Oh,
In quantity supplied. Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so if you look at B, there's only one supply curve instead of 2, because the supply curve isn't affected. Just the quantity supply
Just
is
the quantity
affected.
supplied. All right.
I'm lost.
Okay, that makes sense.
Woohoo! I don't know if that's the same reason I got it, but that's why I'll
Way to go!
That's why I got it, I'm sure.
Now, can you explain to me?
That's funny. Remember earlier when we talked about that there's a difference between supply and quantity supplied? D, which is the one some of us selected, you see the shift in the supplies from S to S1, and it's a leftward shift.
Oh, yeah, okay. No.
That would talk about a decrease in supply, but we're not talking about supply. We're talking about quantity supplied.
Right.
And so that's where, if you look at B, it shows that.
Oh, now
Yeah.
I get it. One is going upward, one is going.
Yeah.
Okay. Different curve.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky. I think it's going to be important probably for the exam, especially to remember that the difference between
Oh, yeah.
the supply and the quantity supplied.
Yeah,
How they're
I
represented
really
on the
good
graph.
cramming session when that happens.
Yeah.
Because seeing how it's closed book and go get a
Yes.
proxy. Whatever you call it.
A proctor,
A proctor.
not a proxy.
Proctor.
You can't get someone to take it for you.
Dang it! I like that, Michelle. Let's do that. Not that I really
Hey, did you hear that Freudian slip?
not that I know anybody personally that could even do any better than I'm doing, so I'm in trouble.
Yeah, we both are. Okay, which of these is not like?
Go ahead, Michelle. Take the last one.
Oh, gee. Save the best for last.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cheat. No, I'm not. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Oh, bugger.
I think it's the last paragraph of the chapter.
I'm lost.
Gives the
now.
answer.
Hold on. No, I'm not lost. Chapter 4. Let's see. Market economics. In the summary?
Conclusion 4-5.
Conclusion.
On page 83 at the bottom, the very last paragraph.
Oh. Here we go. 10 principles of economics. Market economics. Prices prevent, prices coordinate. Sim does not apply.
Yep.
Let's see.
That's what I got too with C.
Well, that's what I was thinking, but then I thought, well, I guess it doesn't apply because prices don't always ensure that everybody can get what they want.
Right.
Right.
What ensures that what needs to be done is in fact done? The answer is the word prices.
Yeah, it gives 3 of those in that paragraph. It says that basically if you change the word what with prices, then it says prices prevent decentralized decision making, prices coordinate the actions of millions of people,
Oh, yeah,
and prices ensure.
decentralization.
Yep.
And that's not part of it. Prices ensure that everyone who wants a product can get it. Well, that was my first thought. Then I thought I was wrong.
It's too bad C is not true because, man, that'd be nice.
Right? Wouldn't it? Life would be good.
Well, kind of. Momentarily. Then it would all go to pieces.
But doesn't that go under the scenario of perfect marketing thing? You know what? Everybody gets what they want.
No, then there's no competition.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's no competition if you don't get what you want. That's what Adam Smith is talking about when he talks about the invisible hand, that everything, the market can guide itself. on our supply and our demand.
That's true.
Yep.
An invisible hand thing. Mm-mm.
Great. Well, thank you guys. That
1776.
right.
I know. Pretty smart for back then, I think.
Yeah.
It's got to be a true concept.
They certainly had a handle on things as far as what they saw the future as being, and I'm sure it was happening back then. What drove people to do the things they did.
Yep.
I mean, eventually the Continental Congress came to be, but in the meantime, how do they manage financially running a country and trying to get away from Britain?
Right.
Because I think eventually when they started formulating the union in the different states, they had trouble, from what I remember one of my history classes. The reason I think he started to think about things is because the interstate trading wasn't working, because some would create embargoes on prices and goods because they still wanted to be loyal to the God and country of Britain. And then some found that they could up the prices and make more money because they'd have to go a far distance to get the goods that they wanted. And then he started thinking about, well, how is that possible when it came down to trying to get this blessed country in check? At least that's what I remember, in part. Some of the challenges that they faced. Because there were some states that were broke, and then they also used tax as a means to make money. As far as the politicians who wanted to run for government, I thought that was crazy.
Yep, it is, and it's still crazy.
No, we have elections, and that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, let's not get started on that one.
I know, because, there will be a whole nother macroeconomics class all on its own.
So is this time work for everybody then? So next week, same time?
Same time, same bat channel.
Yep.
And I promise I'll do better at reading my homework.
I'd prefer to go a little bit earlier if you guys could, because I have another group meeting that starts at 8:30. So I've just been kind of bouncing back and forth.
Oh, okay. Well, like how much earlier?
I don't know, just a few minutes. Just depends, I guess, on how quick we can go through them. But
I can't do earlier. 8 is the best for me because of demands at home.
I would say I don't usually get home from work until 5:30, so that puts me. So what time do we see? We met here at 7, so that puts.
Right.
So that only gives me a half an hour to make sure with traffic and stuff that I can get home. So. And you said, Michelle, the best time for you is
8, because by the time I get home from work, cook dinner, get my house sorted out, and everybody where they're supposed to be, without having any extra demands, 8 o'clock is right on the mark. I can go later, but anything after 8, it works superb. And I promise I'll do better at getting my reading done. Just have some.
Well, Brandon, maybe we can work on trying to get it done faster.
okay.
So
Yeah,
that
and
you
really,
your class.
and really push the start on time. If we can get started right on time, that helped too.
Yeah, I think that'll help too. Awesome.
Cool. Thanks.
Or unless you can go at. So your class is at 8:30.
Well, it's just another group meeting, just online. So I just had that been going on my computer. So this is on my phone.
So is 7:30 too early?
That's
I mean,
too
I
early
could
for me.
try.
I can't do 7.
I mean 7:30. I mean I could try.
Christina, could you do 7:30 at all?
I may be able to get there and do it by 7:30.
Do you want us to try 7:45 next week then? Let's do 15 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try that.
That'll give everybody a little bit of room.
Yeah, because
Okay.
7:30 is pushing it for me, so 7:45 would be better.
Well, I have a question. Is sorry to ask, but this isn't, I'm finding out, even though I'm very excited about learning this, as you can tell, it's not one of my best subjects. I need some help. Is anyone available if I get stuck? If I email you, would you be able to help me through any questions I might have?
Sure. I can try. As you heard from my thing, I'm not the best, but maybe together we can talk it out.
Yeah, maybe you could try posting to our group discussion board,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
and then we can maybe check it. And that way we could respond on our own time. And you get
Yeah.
Or
feedback
I
from
could try
everybody.
both.
Sure.
I'll try both and see how that works. But I'll post on our discussion board and then
Yeah. Feel free to email me and we can see if we can figure it out together.
okay, we'll do. Thanks, guys. I appreciate
Awesome.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Everyone, we'll see you next week.
See you
Yep.
next week.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.